It's 9:59, and boy, we got legal counsel today. So I'd like to thank everyone for coming to the September 2nd Webster County Board of Supervisors meeting. First item on the agenda is to approve the previous meeting minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 1.
I'll second.
The motion second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item number 2 is to receive and place on file drainage repairs, and I have none today. So we'll move on to item number 3 is to place on file the separation of employment date of Hannah Larson, correctional officer, effective August 28, 2014, as per Steve Elfrid's jail administrator.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item number 3.
Second.
Motion second, during discussion. Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 3 passes. Item number 4 is to receive and place on file the resignation of Dr. Janet Secor as medical director and board of health member effective August 31st, 2014.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 4. I'll second.
Motion second, any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 5 is to appoint Dr. Kelly Wallace as medical director and board of health member effective September 1st of 2014.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item 5.
I'll second.
Motion second, do we have any discussion on this? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 6 is approve a request from the city of Dayton to abate current year 2013 property taxes in the amount of $74 on parcels number 0140/191-332-6001 and 00180/1913302005, the former vacated railroad right-of-way owned by Island Air Natural Heritage Foundation.
Mr. Chairman, I'll move item number 6.
Second.
Motion second, any discussion on this? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes. Item number 7. This is now the time and place for public hearing on the final consideration of an amendment to zoning ordinance number 46 and the zoning map to rezone the following described property from A1 to A2. Beginning from the northwest corner of the northwest quarter of the northwest quarter of section 10, township 87 north, range 28 west of the 5th prime minute, Webster County, Iowa, thence 550 feet to the east along the existing northern boundary, thence 355 feet to the south, then 130 feet to the west, then 330 feet to the south, then 355 feet to the west, then 260 feet to the north along the existing western boundary, then 100 feet to the northwest, angled along the existing property boundary, and 350 feet to the north along the existing property boundary, ending at the existing northwest corner. Have we seen, have you received any comments? Do we have any comments from the public? Have any comments from the board? I will now declare the hearing closed. Thank you everyone for coming to the hearing. Moving on, item number 8 is considered the final approval of the above stated amendment to zoning ordinance number 46 and zoning map.
Mr. Chairman, I move item 8. I'll second.
We have a motion second. Any discussion? Comments? Sheila, can you just give a brief comment on what's happening here?
Yes, he's rezoning from an A1 to an A2, but all the ground that he's got there is not in row crop production. It's all, the CSR is only 46, so it'll be a good location for somebody to put a house because they can't have crops there.
Okay. Any other discussion? Seeing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor? All in favor? Call for a roll call vote. All, on the consideration of the final approval of the stated amendment for zoning ordinance number 46. Mr. Deckblatt?
Aye.
Aye.
Mike Gutcher. I was here last week. You had suggested I go talk to the assessor, which I did. You had given me the impression that properties were reevaluated every 10 years. Hasn't been done since 1997. Pretty much got the roundabout at the assessor's office. So I started contacting the Department of Revenue, who confirmed that all real property is assessed every 2 years in odd numbered years. And yes, this is a state law that requires this. So, means that next year's not here, I think it'd be a good time for whoever's responsible to start taking a look at this. I think you do the funding for the assessor's office? No? Who's responsible for funding the assessor's office?
The assessor's office, as we said last week, they have their own board. They actually levy their own tax. So they have the authority to put a levy in place and collect taxes from the populace to do their job. And I think, your comments are very appropriate and certainly timely, and that this is something that the assessor's board needs to be discussing with the assessor.
Is there somehow I could get a list of that board, members on that board? These would be the people that would be directly responsible for the actions or inactions in the assessor's office,
Correct.
the hiring and firing.
Correct.
Could I get a list of that? That would be great.
I mean, their quarterly meetings, if I remember correctly.
And we can call them at any
And
time.
that was my next point, you can call another one at any time.
So we can certainly call a meeting at that, and we can get you a list, and what you have is every school district that has taxing authority in Webster County, every municipality represents, and then the board of supervisors. The makeup of the board, the voting power of the board is kind of unique in that supervisors have one vote, municipalities have one vote, and the school districts have one vote. And, but Fort Dodge Community School District has a representative. The City of Fort Dodge does, Gallery, Badger.
So there could be quite a few representatives on this board?
Yes.
We would need like senior high or something?
Oh, no, there's only
8 now. And
total of 8.
honestly, probably 8 people show up.
Well, I would like to have the opportunity to address that board because I think there's some inequities in the property tax system in this county.
Okay.
So
I'd say now's a good time. If you're, as a citizen, going to request that they hire a whole new appraisal, now's the time to do
well,
that.
you know what, I'm not, and that's something else that they brought up. They said they hired this Vanguard, and they said it was 1997. And it says, and they told me that they're very expensive. That's why they don't get them very often. Isn't the assessor's office duties assessing real property? There's 5 people that work in there, and you can't tell me that every 2 years they can't review each property in this county. There's no excuse for it. So clearly they're not doing their job. I didn't make any friends over there. So if it was up to me, I'd fire everybody in that office. If there's some big inequities in the tax system, and I think it needs to be fixed. So, not willing to do whatever it takes to follow through and get that done.
Well, Mike, I will say that we can call a meeting, and we will make sure, because every meeting has the opportunity for public input, and we will make sure that you're aware of the time and place and invited to come and make your feelings known to everyone on that board.
I appreciate it.
Okay.
And the other thing is, you don't ever have in the minutes of the meetings public comment. It's never in the minutes. There wasn't anything on the last minute that I brought.
We don't publish that part of it, when they take official action on things.
It should be done, or
Well-
it just seems to me if somebody comes with an issue that's very important to everybody in I would think it would be nice to have it in there, so people kind of know what's going on.
If it isn't official actions, a lot of times it's someone else's interpretation. What we publish in the official minutes has to be official action.
Oh, okay. All right, good enough. I'll be looking forward to that meeting.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else care to address the board this morning? All right, moving on to Board of Supervisors committee reports.
I have a couple meetings this week, I'll be going to, so I'll have something next week.
Tomorrow, Meryl and I will be going to the open house for Poets Cellulosic Plant on Westerville. Looking forward to that. And if anybody missed the Dayton Rodeo, they missed out on an outstanding event, community of Dayton and the Dayton Rodeo Group. Did an excellent job putting that on. My compliments to them. It's a well-run event, very well attended.
I had a hazmat meeting last Wednesday with a poet. It was real informative. The hazmat board got a brief tour of the two plants. But mostly we talked about just their preparedness on a hazmat level. And found it interesting, again, that they're going to be good corporate citizens. They, on their own, are taking an initiative to put together kind of an advisory group that they're inviting all other industries in the area to join. And then work with hazmat to make sure that everybody's kind of coordinating together on response and all of that. Very good attendance at that. The hospital, everybody from hazmat was there. So really found it informative, but also found them being aggressive, not only worried about their own operations and potential hazards, but wanting to get the whole county and the whole region involved in this. That was there.
Mr. Singer isn't here, so we won't have him have 20 presentations today, but there's something that I want to speak to the public about today, and that Wednesday of last week, I traveled to Cora with citizen to participate in the County Social Services board meeting, and just to kind of give you an update on where this regionalization process is. The state mandated that counties go together and form regions for delivery of their mental health and adult disability services. So we joined a region. It's a 22-county region, and things have been going along quite well. It's been well funded. It's been well run. Bob Lincoln's been the administrator. Has been doing a really good job. I don't know if you recall, but I had stated that there was some concern over the state's desire to take back monies that might be accumulating due to savings brought about by the Affordable Care Act. And I want to be very clear where these savings are coming from. They're really not that services are being provided cheaper or more efficiently. It's that the burden has been shifted from the counties to the federal government through the Medicaid program. That's where the savings comes from. So in January 1st of 2014, many more people went onto the Medicaid system, and it means real dollars are not being spent by county social services. It's anticipated that by the end of this year, county social services will have spent approximately $3.9 million less than we did last year at the same time. And that money is taxpayer money. That's what we have been levying, $47.28 per capita to go into this system. The dilemma, or the question that we need to discuss, is that when county social services set up, the board said that we would have a maximum 35% changing, we are going to have a cash reserve that's approaching close to 50% in the operating budget. The question that we need to talk about, and that I want to talk about with the full board, is what to do with this difference between the 35% that the county social services is requiring and what we actually have. And I'm going to answer Joe had given me a question on whether county social services could be considered as one entity, or we had to look at the 22 counties when it comes back to the clawback information. And that clawback is the state saying, we're going to take that, they're going to take 80% of the $3.9 million that we're not spending, and they're going to take that back, okay, and distribute it back to counties. And the question is whether we're going to spend that in terms of, or is going to go into 1 unit for county social services or 22. They haven't answered that yet, but what we as county supervisors have to get back to is, what do we do with the extra cash balance that we have? Now, there's a school of thought that that money be distributed back to the counties so that the taxpayers, there's less taxes being levied next year because we're returning money. The other school of thought is that county social services keeps that money and looks for more services to offer. And this became a discussion that I felt was a reflection of the individuals on the board, not necessarily what their boards decided. So I suggested that we all go back to our board of supervisors and find out what their boards felt that county social services should do with their extra ending fund balance. With that, the public is welcome to speak, and the board is welcome to speak. What are your thoughts?
I think anytime we can lessen the burden on our taxpayers, we need to do that. You know, if we can put that money back into a single general fund, not general, the social services, to decrease that levy, that decreases the amount of burden that is placed on the taxpayers, so.
I would agree along that lines, basically, that with this new system, the $40-some that we levied is apparently too high. So I would guess that all county services in the state will look at, do we need to decrease that in the future so we're not getting overtaxed for a service? So I would, at this point in time, kind of hope that the system corrects itself in the coming years by just charging our taxpayers less. But also with this existing fund, my first impression would be that the appropriate thing is we over levy, so that needs to go directly back to the taxpayer that we levy.
The hard thing, it looks like the people that are, it seems like the more they get, the more they want. I think they're getting taken care of quite well right now, the
Well,
money being received.
I will say this, that there is a crisis in mental health services. We do not have enough providers. We do not have enough psychiatrists, and we do not have enough therapists. So there is a crisis in mental health, but that's more than there just aren't enough people going into those lines of occupation. I will
In this
say-
area. In this area.
In this area,
Yeah.
and it's because we're a small population. And I will tell you that your supervisor was the one of the few who was saying, we need to return this back to the taxpayers, because it's my belief that it's not government's job to go out and just raise sums of money and sit on it. And then if in the future we determine there's other services that need to be offered, then we levy the taxes.
You can look at it on an individual basis at that time.
Yes.
Do we have psychiatrists in Webster County right now?
You need,
Do we have, no,
there's mental health services in Webster County.
yeah.
But
an actual,
oftentimes it's difficult to get access to in Well, in more of the rural areas of the state, there is a shortage of subcontractors.
I can remember when I was on that board, we offered a husband and wife team something like $250,000 apiece to come to Webster County to provide psychiatric care. And Dr. Barry was here, and we couldn't find anybody. They wouldn't come, because we were a small community. It's hard to get somebody with that caliber to come to our county.
Well, I just say again that I agree with your perception. I would leave it to Bob and the professionals there to always tell us what the appropriate programming is and levy for that. But it sounds like at this point in time, it's just an overfunding. And I think you're probably running into, just like you do on a lot of these boards, where it's not there, it's not those board members' money, so it's easy just to spend it. Or try and find ways to spend it. We see that so many times on these boards and groups that they can be providing the core services just fine, but boy, as long as there's extra money there, they'll find some way to spend it.
So they give it again next year. That's the way it
Well,
goes.
my whole purpose for bringing this forward was to make sure that I was truly getting your thoughts and that the public knows what's going on. It certainly is my thought too, and I will tell you I was in the minority. I insisted that I go back and talk to the full boards on how they feel about this. I will take that back and return information back to County Social Services next week. Mr. Patterson, you have something to say?
Yes. I think before I would make a decision, I don't disagree with anything that the four of you have said, but I think I would rather hear what some of the arguments are for other services. Mental health has always been a traditionally underfunded program, and I understand that there was a levy limit, and because of this change, I think that before I made a decision as far as whether to reduce the tax burden or to continue part of it, I'd want to hear what the potential services are and the need is before I made a final decision. I hope you would consider, if you were in the minority in that group, I would think you would want to consider what your staff has as far as recommendations for additional services if the funding is available. So, as a member of the public, I would recommend.
And I think I can assure you that if there were things that they had to recommend that we would consider them, but at this time, they have nothing brought forward to further fund. So, whether it's a year later or whatever, we can always change the funding structure. But when we sit on a large cash balance that's way above what the board has set as their threshold for cash reserve, and there's discussion on what we do with it, well, I will always be in favor of returning that money to the taxpayer.
I agree with you if there is no specific need that's been recognized by your staff in that area, but that it should be. But at least I'd want to hear the recommendations of what that staff would do if they had additional funds and what kind of services would be provided. Because you did, Supervisor Dinkla did point out something very, very important, that we have a specific shortage
if Webster County's share of the money is returned, rather than that money being used across the 22 counties, can Webster County use that money just in Webster County?
I think that's the intent of that, is that it's getting it back to provide tax relief to the taxpayers of Webster County.
Well, I don't necessarily mean for tax relief, I mean for services specifically in Webster County.
And that's how it would work, is that we do levy for services that are provided here directly in Webster County. And there's a budget item that pays for those, so whether it's the staffing or anything like that, we levy and pay for things.
I don't levy any additional dollars other than the $47.22 per capita. And those tax dollars go to the region. So if they would come back here, that would be your ability to levy for less than that. The services that you do locally is funded, they're funded through reimbursement.
So it truly would come back in the form of
It could come back and then be used just like you're saying, property.
And at this point, it's so new as to dollar amounts or anything like that, we haven't even gotten into it. At this point, it's more of a philosophical discussion on what would be done, and so.
Would the state or whoever decides the levy rate next year just consider reducing levy rate, and that will eat up your cash balance?
This is what I was afraid of. The board of supervisors in each county still determines the amount that they're going to levy, because you're the only ones that have levy for Webster County.
It's a maximum.
It's a max.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's what the state says is the maximum that you can levy. This is a whole other issue now, is that there are some counties in the region that do not levy the 4728. Here's what's been happening, is that the state set that maximum. Webster County actually got a reduction what we were paying in, or what we were levying. There are some counties that are 38, for example. That difference between the 4728 and that 38 was being backfilled by the state. That's probably going to be the first thing that goes away. The state's going to put that backfill. So what's probably going to happen is this 22-member board is probably going to have to start looking hard and saying, well, you know, we need to equalize this and get everybody paying, say, 42 or something like that. And so that one thing that nobody wants to do is raise taxes in some areas. They may raise their tax asking in those that have been, but they're in the minority of those that are not paying 4728.
And again, it's because the system is new, it's basically the first year of this funding, it's gonna take a little while to balance
Yeah,
this out.
that's what's really new, is that this is the first year that Medicaid has, there's been more people under the Medicaid system.
Do you know how the other regions are sitting with their cash balances?
They're all sitting pretty good.
Everybody's, so the whole state.
Yeah, it really has been that more people have been, they're going under, being paid for by Medicaid. And that, it's tax dollars, it's federal tax dollars, but it's tax dollars. And, you know, Mr. Lincoln actually, he made the comment, you know, if we wanted to, he said, we could probably find a way to get everybody on Medicaid and bankrupt the Medicaid system. So, anyway, what we're talking about here is our local tax dollars that go in to pay for the services for our residents.
And I appreciate, you know, the conversation and you standing up saying, hey, this should go back to your supervisors. Because I truly believe that if there was a need not being met at this time, they would have came forward knowing that reserve was there and said, hey, we need to look at these other areas before we consider redistributing these funds. And, you know, at this point, they didn't. And I have a huge problem with pot money sitting there saying, guys, if we don't hurry up spend it, it's gone.
And I think that the board has been very, very receptive to funding things that are outside the, I mean, we have a budget of $500,000 for investments, is what they call them, investments in, that's in new programs and